Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Q&A with Dr. K. Welcome, Dr. Klaper.
Hi there, Annie. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, so let's get started with the questions. All right, today our viewer has asked, do you have thoughts on vegan animals? They're wondering if they can get their dog on a vegan diet.
Oh my, this question always tugs at my heartstrings because I certainly know where the asker is coming from as an Orthodox vegan myself. You don't want to uh, pay for the products of the slaughterhouse in any way, shape, or form, whether you're going to eat it or your pet's going to eat it. We all know the true cost of that to the animals, to the planet, etc. And none of us want to be part of that system. So how do you nourish these wonderful animals in our lives, our dogs and cats, without supporting the slaughter industry and all the cruelty? First of all, the other heartstring tug comes from the animals themselves because we love them and we snuggle them and they give us so much comfort. But the reality is that dogs are descended from wolves, they are carnivorous canines. They make their living out in nature, stalking the caribou herds and taking down the old slow mammals that can be caught, and they play a role in nature's balance by eliminating as I said, the old, sick, slow animals, whether it be caribou or rabbits or field mice, whatever it is. If they are old enough and sick enough to be caught, then as they're taken out of the gene pool, it enhances the strength of the herd, of the population there. So they have a role to play. It's not a matter that those evil flesh eaters, they can't help it no more than any of us can help our appearance, our nature. And so we've got the fact that we're basically loving a carnivorous animal, certainly the canines are, and that's even more magnified with the felines, with the cats, and they are clearly carnivores. And yet they're cute and they're mystical and they're magical creatures, and they love us, and they have a cat curl up in your lap and start purring. Clearly there's affection there. Although they've got their own style. I heard a great phrase that for thousands of years cats were regarded as sacred creatures. They have not forgotten. And indeed, that's certainly part of their attitude. But back to the question. So what is the vegan pet owner or companion to do with this when the cat or dog is hungry? Well, so it gets down to some hardcore physiology there. Can you physically nourish a canine animal on a plant-based diet? Well, dogs are more omnivorous, if you will, than cats. We all see, well, both of them actually, dogs and cats. We see them occasionally chewing on grass, and if you put mashed potatoes out or whatever, your dog can certainly eat it, and cats can eat grain-based food for a while. So yes, the physiologies can adapt somewhat. But you just can't give them the tofu lasagna that we had for dinner last night and expect them to thrive on it. Their physiology requires something else. So to make a long story short, the people who love these animals have had a look at their physiology and says, well, they can't eat straight vegan food here, but maybe we can take the plant-based diet and add the nutrients that we know that these carnivorous animals really require. And some forward-thinking veterinarians have done that. And so if you're in that situation where you want to feed your pet a plant-based diet, then let me recommend a book to you by Dr. Pitcairn and his wife. And in this book, Dr. Pitcairn has a extensive chapter on plant-based diets for dogs and cats. So educate yourself about what these animals require. And then if you do a search for vegan dog food, you will find there's a number of brands. I'm not going to plug any brands, but I saw 4 that looked pretty good. And so I would at least try these different brands because it depends on what your dog likes as far as the aroma, texture, whatever. But yes, now in the 21st century, there are vegan dog foods that seem to have the added nutrients that will nourish dogs. And there are indeed now vegan cat foods. Now, cats have even a more fastidious metabolism. They require amino acids like taurine and arginine. They require fats like arachidonic acid. These are in animal flesh, of course, but if you add them individually as components, you can turn a vegan food into one that is ostensibly healthy for cats. But it turns out it seems to actually be, because I was much delighted when I ran across a study from last year's veterinary research journal, where they looked at cats on a plant-based diet with these special modified vegan cat foods. And it turned out the cats are doing fine, actually. They interviewed thousands of owners who are feeding their cats a plant-based diet. And it turns out that the cats are thriving. Their coats are healthy. They're energetic. And this has been going on for years. So I invite you to pull this study and have a look on it. But it turns out that in long term, yes, the vegan cat foods work. The vegan dog foods work. Is it natural? Does it mean that your cat is not going to come home with a bird that it killed or a lizard that it killed and put it on your pillow with a feeling of great triumph? They are carnivorous in their nature, and you're going to have to deal with that throughout your relationship with the cat. And the dogs too, they'll tend to chase cows out in the countryside or whatever, that old wolf. The nature comes out, and we have to honor that. We just can't kid ourselves that we have not taken small carnivores into our home. But we love them, and we'll do our artifactual things like buying these modified foods. So if you really have a soft spot in your heart for a carnivorous animal that you've taken in your house, then do some research. Read the section in Dr. Pitcairn's book, and look for the now modern day versions of vegan dog and cat foods. And you might find one that works really well. And if you just have an old cat whose metabolism just is not going to adapt, then you need to find the smallest amount of animal flesh that will keep the cat healthy. And you've got to then look yourself in the mirror there and say, is this really the statement I want to be making? That's up to you, of course. But at least there's more room these days to find a way to coexist ethically with our carnivorous friends that bring us so much joy in our lives. So hopefully that helped, and best to all of you and your companion animals.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Klaper. Lots of viewers have asked that question, have wondered that, and I know that's a discussion I've come across a lot. So hopefully that clarifies for a lot of people out there. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care.